My 17-year-old daughter was banned from attending my sister's wedding for being too young. I didn't argue. I just said we wouldn't go. But when Christmas rolled around, I made a quiet change and the whole family lost their minds. My name is Claire, and I'm the oldest of three sisters. Growing up, that meant I was the responsible one, the helper, the babysitter, the one who picked up the slack when our parents were too tired or distracted. I never minded, not at first. It just was. Tessa, the middle child, was the attention seeker. Rachel, the youngest, was the baby. She got away with everything. I was the one who cleaned up everyone else's messes. When I grew up and became a mother, things shifted a little, but not entirely. I adopted my daughter, Maya, when she was 3. She had big, serious eyes and a quiet way of observing the world, like she didn't quite trust it yet. I remember the first time she called me Mom. I cried in the car after dropping her off at preschool. From the very beginning, I made her a promise. She would never feel unwanted in my family. Not again. But I couldn't keep that promise, not as hard as I tried. Tessa got engaged last spring. Big announcement, big ring, big Instagram caption. I congratulated her, of course. Maya even made her a card. She cut out little wedding bells and glued them on with copious amounts of glitter. Tessa said it was lovely, then left it in the back seat of her car. I found it there 2 weeks later, half melted under a Starbucks cup. Still, Maya was excited about the wedding. She started looking at dresses online, asking if she should wear her hair up or down. You could tell she was nervous, but hopeful. She wanted to be included. Then the invitation came in the mail. One of those fancy ones, thick paper, gold trim, the kind that probably cost more than my monthly water bill. I opened it on the kitchen counter while Maya was doing her homework at the table. The usual stuff: location, dress code, RSVP link. And then I saw it: adults only. Strictly enforced. 18 and over. No exceptions. I read it twice, thinking maybe I missed something. But I hadn't. Maya saw my face before I could even say anything. She looked up from her notebook and asked, "She doesn't want me there?" I told her it was an 18 and over wedding. She was quiet for a second, then said, "Is it because I'm adopted?" That one ripped something in me. She said it so calmly, like it was a fact she'd just accepted. I told her no, of course not. But I knew what she meant. It wasn't the first time something like this had happened. Not exactly this, but other, smaller things. Sidelong comments. Evasive answers. My mom once introduced Maya as Claire's daughter, never our granddaughter. Tessa would call her your daughter, like she was talking about the neighbor's kid. There were times at family gatherings when Maya would offer to help in the kitchen, and no one would respond. I tried to believe it wasn't intentional, that they didn't mean anything by it. But this time it was clear. I didn't fight. I didn't yell. I just logged on and clicked decline. No elaborate explanation. I didn't think it would end there. The next day, Tessa texted me, "Hey, just saw your RSVP. Everything okay? We'll catch up later." If it's about the age thing, hope you understand. We're being really consistent with everyone. Nothing personal, right? It's not nothing personal, except that Maya is her niece, and she's 17, not 7. I didn't reply. Then Rachel texted, "Tessa said you're not coming? What's up?" Then my mom called. She never just calls to chat, so I answered, bracing myself. "I heard you're not going to the wedding," she said brightly. "Really?" "It's because of the age limit." I asked her why it was she didn't have a problem with Maya being excluded, as if that was my problem. "I'm not going without her," I responded firmly. "My mom said she's almost 18. It's not like she's a little kid. She's family." There was a pause. "Don't punish your sister for this, Claire," she said. "It's not going to work." And I hung up. It should have been the end of it. But then came the group chat messages. The guilt. The little digs that weren't even subtle. "Rachel, can't believe you're making such a big deal out of one role. Always gotta be drama." Tessa, Maya's not the only one not coming. This isn't about her. You're making it about her. My mom sent a long message about family unity and forgiveness, about how we've all made sacrifices, about how hard it is to be in the middle. I didn't respond. Maya deleted the dress pictures from her phone. She stopped talking about the wedding. She didn't cry, but I think that's what hurt me the most. How unsurprised she was. She'd already learned what I'd been trying to ignore for so long. So when Christmas rolled around and no one had apologized or even mentioned it, I made a quiet decision. I didn't invite them. There was no big announcement, no dramatic reveal, just silence. And that's what really set them off. If you'd asked me 10 years ago what I pictured motherhood would be like, I would have said birthday parties, messy hugs, glitter on the carpet. I wouldn't have said trying to shield a child from the people who claim to love them both. When Maya came into my life, she was 3 years old and heartbreakingly serious. Big brown eyes, soft curls, and a watchful stillness that made you feel like she was memorizing everything you said, just in case she needed it to survive. She didn't warm up quickly. She didn't laugh when I told her jokes. She didn't run into my arms like some movie scene. But when she finally took my hand in the grocery store, unprompted, I cried in the parking lot for 10 minutes. My husband, Ian, was the one who said that was the moment she chose you. And I've chosen her every day since. But my family never quite knew what to do with her. At first, I chalked it up to awkwardness, to adjustment, to grief. She didn't have my eyes. She didn't yet carry my last name. She didn't insert herself into conversations during holidays the way the other kids did. But it was more than that. It was the way my mother would call her the little one instead of Maya. It was when Tessa once asked, "Are you going to tell her she's adopted when she gets older?" Maya was right there. It was when Rachel's kids got Easter baskets from our parents with personalized names on them, while Maya got a generic one with a Happy Spring tag. It wasn't blatant. It was quieter, softer, easier to excuse if you wanted to. But Maya noticed. She always noticed. I tried to be patient. I really did. I explained. I redirected. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. When Maya was 6, she told my dad she wanted to be an artist. He smiled and said, "You'll need something more practical." When she was 8, she drew a picture of our family, Ian, me, and her, and gave it to my mom. My mom smiled, thanked her, set it down, and never mentioned it again. Maya asked later why it wasn't on the fridge like the other cousins' drawings. I didn't know what to say. The first time I really lost my temper was at Rachel's engagement party. Maya was 12. Rachel had invited us, included us in a mass text with time, date, and location. "No, so excited to see you." No personal message. But we went anyway because I thought that's how we changed it. We kept showing up. Maya wore a pale blue dress and silver flats she'd picked out herself. She was nervous and kept asking me if she looked okay, if she could stay close to me at the party. Rachel greeted us with a tight smile and an air kiss, then turned to hug the next person without asking Maya a single thing. No compliment, no, "You look so grown up." Just air. We stayed 20 minutes, maybe 25. Maya was glued to my side the whole time. On the way home, she said, "I don't think she likes me." I told her, "She doesn't know you." She replied, "I've been around for 10 years. And I didn't have an answer for that. The thing is, I don't think they ever fully accepted that Maya wasn't temporary. It's like some part of them thought that eventually I'd have a real kid, and this would become some sweet chapter, something they could refer to as when Claire fostered that little girl. They never said it out loud. They didn't have to. Last year, for Maya's 16th birthday, we rented a space at the community center and decorated it with her artwork. It was her idea. She didn't want a huge party with loud music. She wanted to hang her paintings, serve cupcakes, and invite the people who'd supported her. She made the invitations herself, sent them out to family, friends, and a few teachers. Rachel didn't come. Tessa didn't either. My parents showed up 30 minutes late and brought a card that said, "To a sweet girl," with a $20 bill inside. Maya thanked them. She's always polite. Afterward, she didn't say much. Just helped me clean up and load her canvases back in the car. But later that night, when we got home and were washing dishes, I found one of her sketchbooks. It was a drawing of the three of us, her, Ian, and me, at the party. But our faces were blank. I think that's when I stopped expecting them to change. Not because of the card, or the lateness, or the lack of effort. But because it didn't even hurt Maya anymore, not the same way. She'd stopped being surprised. And that scared me more than anything. So when the wedding invitation never came, not even a call, not a conversation, just a silent exclusion, I knew what I had to do. I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I didn't ask for an exception. I told Maya we weren't going. She didn't cry. She just nodded and said, "Okay." Later that night, she asked, "Do you think they even noticed we weren't there?" I told her yes, because I needed her to believe she mattered, even if she didn't. We spent the wedding weekend at home. Ian made French toast. Maya painted in the sunroom. I read a book, cover to cover. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't a protest. It was peace. And honestly, it felt strange at first. A quiet that made you realize how much noise you'd been living with for years. I didn't miss the ceremony. I didn't wonder what the flowers looked like or if the cake was good. I thought about Maya. I thought about how she'd looked for their approval in every comment, every holiday, every family dinner, and how, little by little, they'd taught her not to expect it. And I thought about the next holiday. How, for years, I'd hosted Christmas out of obligation, inviting them, feeding them, pretending their half-hearted smiles were enough. This time, I wouldn't. This time, I'd do something different. Ian asked me in early December if he should order the extra folding chairs, like always. I shook my head. No extra seats this year. He didn't push it. Maya didn't ask. And when the group chat started buzzing with "Who's bringing dessert to Claire's this year? Should we come the night before like always?" I didn't say anything. I just watched as the messages piled up, unread. I didn't announce I wasn't hosting Christmas. I didn't make a speech, or post a sassy status, or tell everyone to find somewhere else to eat ham and passive aggression. I just didn't say anything, and that silence, apparently, was the loudest thing I'd ever done. The group chat started buzzing around December 15th. "Rachel, Claire, we still doing Christmas Eve dinner at your place? LMK, what to bring? Tessa, assuming it's back at yours again? LMK, if Maya wants anything specific this year, if she's even going to be present this time." Almost got me there. If she's even going to be present this time. Like Maya was the problem. Like her absence at the wedding was some personal failing of hers, not the result of not being invited. I didn't respond. For the first time in years, I didn't deep clean the house. I didn't order a roast in advance. I didn't pull out the extra folding chairs. I didn't haul the big table out of the garage. And since no one was getting answers, they started calling. First my mom. I let it ring. Then Rachel. Then Tessa. Then my dad left a voicemail. "Claire, we just want to know what's going on. Your mother is upset. There's still time to do the right thing." Like hosting the people who excluded my daughter was the right thing. Like feeding them would fix what they refused to acknowledge. We didn't host anyone that year. Instead, Ian and I made lasagna in our pajamas while Maya baked sugar cookies shaped like snowmen and reindeer that barely held together. We stayed home, watched movies, and opened our presents early. We laughed more in those few days than we had in months. It felt normal. In a way our holidays never had before. No one walked on eggshells. No one had to translate snide remarks. No one went quiet when Maya entered the room. It was just us. And that's when the messages started to change. December 26th, Tessa in the group chat, "Feels sad. We've all tried to welcome Maya, but Claire has made it impossible to connect with her. Rachel, I mean, if you cut off your family every time there's a disagreement, You'll end up with no one. It's cruel how you're handling this. Sorry, but it is. My mom sent me a picture of the Christmas tree at her house, captioned, "Wasn't the same without you." Maya would have loved her presents. I didn't respond because they weren't presents for Maya. They were invitations, wrapped in guilt, for her to come back and pretend everything was fine. And I'd done that for too long. A few days later, we got a card in the mail. It had no return address, but I recognized the handwriting. Inside, my mom had written, "I wish you'd think about the example you're setting. Maya will see how easily you exclude people." That line stuck with me because I realized that's exactly what I want her to see. Not that love is disposable, but that love definitely doesn't ask you to shrink. It doesn't ask you to stay quiet while the people around you pretend your pain is too inconvenient to acknowledge. Maya didn't ask about the messages, but I know she sensed the tension. She's never been one to ask directly. She just watches and absorbs, like she's still trying to figure out which parts of the world are safe. One night, she was curled up on the couch, a blanket over her legs, sketching something. She paused, then said, "If I wasn't adopted, do you think they would like me more?" The question hit me harder than any text. I sat next to her. "Honey," I said, "they would probably pretend to be nicer. But how they treat people who aren't like them, that was never about you." She looked at me with the same seriousness she had the day I met her, and said, "I don't think I want them to like me more." And in that moment, I stopped waiting for an apology. A few days later, my dad called again. I let it ring. Then he texted, "Your mother isn't sleeping. She feels like she's lost you. We know we messed up, but that doesn't justify shutting everyone out. You're not like this." I stared at that line for a while. You're not like this. I used to wonder if I was. Too cold, too sensitive, too harsh. But now, I think this is exactly who I am. Someone who finally knows what she will and will not tolerate. Someone who knows that keeping the peace at the expense of her child's dignity isn't noble, it's cowardice disguised as tradition. The final straw was Tessa. She sent a voice note, one of those rambling ones where people try to sound breezy, but every sentence has a hidden barb. "It's just sad, Claire. You've always made such a big deal about how much you love Maya, but now it feels like you're using her as a shield. Like anytime someone doesn't treat her like royalty, you shut them out. That's not parenting. It's obsession." I didn't listen to the rest. I deleted the message and blocked her number. Because if loving Maya fiercely and completely qualifies as obsession in their world, then yes, I am obsessed. I'm unapologetically obsessed with protecting the person who needed me most. And nothing they say will make me regret it. New Year's came and went quietly. Maya fell asleep before midnight, a half-eaten cookie on her lap, on the couch. Ian and I toasted with tea instead of champagne and watched the fireworks in silence. He looked at me and asked, "Do you miss them?" I thought about it. "I miss the idea of them," I said. "But that version never existed." He nodded and didn't say anything else. Just took my hand. I don't know what will happen next. I'm sure they'll keep trying. People like that don't stay quiet. There will be more texts, more posts. Maybe someone will show up at Maya's graduation next year, feigning cluelessness. But I've made my choice. There's no big showdown coming, no dramatic confrontation, just a quiet distance. And sometimes, that's the most powerful decision of all. It happened on a Thursday. A cold, overcast, quiet Thursday. I'd just gotten home from work, still in my coat, when the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. Ian was working late. Maya was upstairs putting together a portfolio for her college applications. I opened the door, and there they were. My parents, standing on my porch like it was still 2007 and we were all pretending nothing was wrong. My mom had a Tupperware container in her hands. I think it was oatmeal cookies. Her specialty. Soft in the middle, slightly burnt on the edges. The kind she'd make when I was little. "Claire," she said, with a small smile. "We thought we'd stop by." I didn't say anything at first. She kept looking at the container in her hands like it was a peace offering. My dad shifted beside her. "Can we come in?" he asked. "Just for a minute?" "No," I said. There was a pause. Surprise, maybe, but not enough to matter. My mom tried again, a warmer tone this time. "We just wanted to talk," she said. "We're still your family." She offered the cookies like a peace treaty. I didn't take them. That's when the smile started to falter. "You don't have to be like this," she said, her voice tightening. "We know it's been hard, raising a teenager, pushing everyone else away." My dad added, "We tried to be patient. We gave you space. But this, you're going to lose your real family over a girl who's leaving in a few months." My stomach dropped. "She's 17, my mom said softly. "She'll be off to college soon. And then what? You'll be alone. You'll regret this." I could hear the words under the words. This wasn't about reconciliation. It was about control. And then my mother said it, the thing I think she'd always believed deep down. "I'm sorry, but she's not blood. She's not really one of us." She said it gently, like she was doing me a favor. Like she expected me to nod and say, "You're right, I've lost my way." Instead, I took a deep breath, stepped back, and said, "You need to leave. Right now." My dad looked shocked. "Claire, no," I said louder. "You can't come here with cookies and pity and act like this is kindness. You can't insult my daughter to my face and then wonder why I don't invite you in. Are you going to regret this?" My mom repeated, her voice cracking. "When she leaves you, when she forgets about you, you'll see. Our door will still be open. You'll come back. You'll realize we were right." I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. I closed the door, locked it, and leaned against it until I couldn't hear their footsteps anymore. I told Maya the next day. I wasn't going to. I didn't want her to carry their poison. But I've never lied to her about anything important. She was very quiet while I told her what they'd said about her leaving, about not being blood, about me crawling back one day. She didn't cry, but I saw it in her hands, how tightly she clenched them in her lap. How rigid her shoulders became. "They really think you'll leave me?" she said. "No," I said. "They hope I will. So they'll need me again." She nodded slowly. "They can't need anything from me," she said. I thought it would end there. I should have known better. Because a week later, my cousin Sarah forwarded me an email Rachel had sent to the extended family. It was long, rambling, and passive-aggressive, as only Rachel could be. But the gist was clear. She told them I'd abandoned the family for a girl who'd wormed her way into Claire's life and isolated her from everyone. She implied Maya had been difficult, distant, and that my relationship with her was unhealthy. That I was obsessed with protecting her from imagined slights. That I was bitter, and worse, that it was working. People started contacting me. Aunt Linda texted, asking if I was okay. Uncle John called Ian to ask if I was having some kind of breakdown. My second cousin Chloe left a comment on one of Maya's art posts. "You're so lucky. Don't forget who gave you a home." Maya saw it. I saw her see it. And that was the final straw. I didn't write a reply. I wrote a dossier. Screenshots. Messages. Photos. Every ignored invitation. Every exclusion. Every backhanded receipt. I wrote a letter with no emotion, no anger, just facts. I sent it to the extended family, just once, with the subject line, "For those who wanted the full story." I didn't ask for sides to be taken. I didn't demand apologies. I just told them the truth. Some responded. Others didn't. Some quietly unfriended Rachel. Some didn't believe a word I said. It didn't matter. Because I wasn't doing it for them. I was doing it for Maya. So she would never question whether she'd imagined it. So she would never again ask, "Do you think they'd like me if I was blood?" After that, I blocked everyone who tried to argue. Everyone who said, "But maybe if you just talked." Everyone who thought keeping the peace was more important than protecting a child from emotional abuse disguised as family tradition. We never heard from them again. Not directly. I'm sure they still talk about us. I'm sure I'm the story they tell at parties when someone mentions estranged children. I'm sure Maya's name is still uttered with judgment. Let them talk. They lost the right to know her. Fast forward. Maya is at college now. Art program. Top of her class. She still calls me every night. Not out of obligation. Just habit. She sends me pictures of her sketches. Sometimes she asks for my opinion. Sometimes she just wants to say goodnight. When I dropped her off at her dorm, she hugged me for a whole minute and whispered, "I'm not going anywhere." She meant physically, maybe, but I knew what she meant. They say you don't choose your family. I did. I chose her. Over blood. Over guilt. Over years of quiet. They learned. And if they still think I'll crawl back one day, let them wait. Sometimes I still think about that moment on the porch, my mom offering me those cookies like they could undo years of silence. Like sugar could fix what they never dared to say out loud. And sometimes, late at night, I wonder if I overreacted. If I should have tried harder. Stayed quieter. Been more forgiving. But then I remember Maya's face when I told her they can't treat you like that. I remember how tightly she hugged me when she left for college. I remember that I promised her something no one promised me as a kid, that I would always choose her.